We are 8 games into Valorant Champs 2025, and there are 3 remaining pick'ems that are 100% out of 41,000 people. So, what is the reason for all of these unpredictable results? And in this video, we're going to try and look at what all of these games have had in common. To start off, we're going to look at Sentinels against Giants, starting with map 3 Haven. This is like the best example in real time of a team playing against a comp and showing us the wrong and the right way to play against it. So Sentinels are playing on Haven against Giants, and we're playing the Gen G comp. This is a comp I've often referred to as the VIP comp, and this round will kind of explain why. As you can see, Sentinels, each time, they're getting their smoke down over towards site. Sometimes it's paired with a molly. This means that you can't flood in, right? The Viper smoke is going to do damage, and the molly will melt you. So this isolates people on site, so they are forced to fight with no help. Once you actually get over towards the site as well, if the Viper is alive, this smoke up in the afterplant is so hard to play against. After trying to play off-site multiple times, or just having one person isolated, Giants call a timeout at 0-6 down. This is the timeout from Pipson.
First thing is, boys, we are not playing our game. This is not the way we play. This is not the way that we are playing on C, and it's the first time in my life I hear now Westside asking for a Booker spot. Like, and the stuff like that. Just play the way we play. Be the same active. Oh, they are C long. Okay, they drone. Oh, okay, what we do? Let's the insta go re-clear garage. Oh, okay, we re-clear garage. Garage is clear. KRP. You are losing them in tempo right now. They just do one drone and you are hiding from this drone and
like
expecting them to come.
Navi, I mean.
Yes, you're just expecting them to come right now to there. Okay?
Yep.
Just play like you play with our tempo.
Every round from then on, they are fighting for control. They're being proactive on defense. They are using the breach well and fighting for these areas. They don't want to retake sites anymore. Sentinels are not adjusting as well. They're still trying to take a little bit of space at the beginning, and they are just tanking stun after stun, resulting in a lot of first deaths and map control for GiantX. GiantX managed to win out 4 of the remaining 6 rounds and make sure they are still in this game. The rest of the game plays out with GiantX winning pistol. They got a bonus, and they also have some really nice reads and calling from Cloud. I do think on top of this, Sentinels kind of misplay the Gen G comp, especially over towards C. They play pretty passive with their aggro smoke. It's actually insane the amount of teams that try and copy the Gen G comp, but just miss little things that means that it ends up just being wrong, in my opinion. This demo that we just watched might be the best example of how to play against the VIP comp and how to not play against the VIP comp, all in one half. Giants in the first half being super passive, letting them take sites. It's not what you want to do. They switch it up. They go proactive. That is how you play against this comp. So with that in mind, let's go to MIBR Billy. MIBR used to play the double duelist comp. We saw Aspas on the Yoru. It didn't look great. With their time off, they switch over to the Gen G comp. Billy start on defense, and they have such a misunderstanding of how to play against this comp. They start the rounds with the intention of playing retake. They are leaving the sites open for MIBR to take, and then they're going to try 5-person retake. You cannot do this against this comp. They are playing insanely passive, and they are just not going aggro with the numbers. When they are going aggro, it's maybe one person committing over towards A, which doesn't help them too much. They got to do it with numbers. The comp change from MIBR has completely owned Billy. The macro understanding of how to play against the Viper on Haven is fully missing. I did a little side quest. I had to dig deeper into, does anyone play this in China? Are they used to playing against it? And I came up with these results from Zhilai. 4-0, so it looks like this comp does kind of dominate this region at the moment. No one really knows how to play against it macro-wise on the defense, so definitely something that is lacking maybe from the region in this area, and it's one of the reasons why I think that actually China is struggling, especially in this meta, just because the macro understanding against comps is off, and maybe on a certain couple of maps I believe it's off as well, but that is definitely a video for another day. We then move over to MIBR's pick of Corrode, and it is another comp switch for MIBR. Billy once again are left to adjust on the fly in the server in real time to what is going on. MIBR winning a double pistol, but most importantly, they had a lot of nice set strats which really helped them win some big rounds and keep the momentum going for them. This ended up being a 2-0 for MIBR and the first seed from China falling, but mostly because of the prep and the comp changes from MIBR. First seeds falling, let's talk about G2. G2 are playing Team Heretics. Okay, and just like MIBR, Team Heretics have decided to use their time really well as well. In EMEA, Team Heretics used to first ban Corrode. G2, not wanting to waste a map ban, believed they could get away with floating Corrode, even though it is statistically their worst map. Heretics punished them for it and first picked it. They came in, changed their comp from the one game that they played in EMEA, and they managed to squeeze out 4 rounds on attack. There were some nice rounds. We had some Astra ult round with the Viper. That was really cool. And again, this map is very defense-sided, so 4 rounds is normally enough, especially when you're playing up against a Vice for the first time and you don't have that demo. You don't know where the Vice is. It can be a nightmare to play against. It has one of the highest first win rates in pro play from not having demos.
Some sort of ace, but so at least
Damn,
the shield wall's being drawn out
this TP
now.
is min-maxed to an absolute hell. Bro, look at that. That's crazy. He threw this TP from this corner. That's sick.
30 seconds on the clock.
It was a really nice defense from Heretics, very prepped, and one of the weirdest defenses I've ever seen. 11 rounds were played, and look at these stats. There is only 17 deaths between these 5 players in 11 rounds. Woot has gone 1-1, and he's only taken 2 Angels out of the whole defense. It was really, really wild. Benji went crazy. Rienz and Miniboo had a lot of first kills as well. But then we've actually got to talk about the next map, G2's pick. It's Lotus. Heretics have somehow avoided playing this map for the whole of Stage 2. The last time they played it was in EWC, where they lost 4-13 against NRG and Fnatic. They also beat Genji in overtime, I believe. So, what did they do coming into this? That's right, they changed their comp. The 4-person coaching staff of G2, if you include Baby Bay, might as well have gotten some good sleep. Throw the prep out of the window. They don't know what they're up against. Heretics lock in a chamber deadlock comp. G2 started off strong with a 6-0 lead, like we saw Sentinels do earlier. But then we had a hero round from Wu, and then Benji managed to win the clutch at the end. This got Heretics back into the game, and we started to see Heretics use something that G2 doesn't have. VOD footage, especially when it came down to the ults. Teo orders up, and you can see G2 want to play to leave C site. Heretics are on top of this. They know the ult's going to go back a site, and all 4 of them play in front of the ult as it goes down, and they stop everyone trying to get back into the site. With this, they forced them down to an eco, and they managed to squeeze out a 5-7 half. After that, winning the pistol, shutting down G2's fabled Stinger buy, which then forced them into another eco. Then, as well, we had a lot of duels over towards A, big pivotal rounds, went back and forth, and then we had this round at the end. Keep an eye on Boo on the minimap. He is so on top of the fact that Jorgamo is going to send it with the ult. He's hiding the whole time. He has Woot's back as Woot cleans up the rest of the team, and Jorgamo is just tunnel visioned on the chamber itself. Really nice prep from Heretics themselves, and again, just great example of changing up the comp and just having the VOD footage against not having the VOD footage. This video is sponsored by myself. It's sponsored by me. I launched some merch recently. If you want to go check it out, I'll put the link down below. That's sliggy.store. Go check out what we have down here. We've got a couple of things. I tried to keep it as cheap as possible, but the quality, I promise, is very, very nice. So go check it out. Link down below, and I appreciate the support. Keeping with the seed ones, we have EMEA seed 1. It is Team Liquid against DRX, the 4th seed from Pacific. This one, at least for the first map, is slightly different. Abyss has been picked from DRX, but I will say they changed it up. They made a Yoru Waylay comp, something that Liquid probably haven't practiced against, and Liquid went for the standard normal comp that DRX actually made popular in my opinion, and again, I think we're the best in the world at. So DRX very comfy with everything Liquid was going to do, and Liquid not so comfy with all the new stuff from the Waylay and the Yoru. Mako had an absolute game, but I will also say DRX winning double pistol and shutting down the B hits on defense were integral to this, and it looked relatively convincing. But now, this is the talking point. Bind. This is where the Waylay really shined. A lot of the stuff the DRX do with the Waylay is really, really cool. I think Waylay's best used like this with double duelist. It's similar to what RRQ is doing, but maybe some of the stuff the DRX have is a little better. We have takes over towards long, where they're pretty much using it as like an info initiator, double dashing out, making sure they get the saturate down, and then capitalizing off of the kills. And then we have this other round here where they're actually like committing through the smoke. Even though it doesn't actually work for DRX, they don't get the kills. It's still very, very hard to play against. And it's the first time they're playing up against the Waylay Yoru comp, and you just don't know what to expect. You're adjusting on the fly. Whereas DRX, they have a lot of demos from Liquid. They know what they like to do. I will say on top of this, this isn't the best example of the comp stuff, because obviously I do feel like Liquid played a pretty poor game, but they also have historically done this in the past and not been punished for it. So those bad rounds from them got punished this time, but they also for sure struggled against the DRX Waylay.
Able to tuck away though. They've been able to claim their spots to fight from. But Liquid need to be so careful not to overpeak. DRX already finding the opening.
Again.
They baited Mako into the open with a tap. Another tap coming through. The scars of the previous round where the defuse was stuck. Still showing here, he needs the pick! Mako! Stop the defuse!
Last game we're going to talk about is Fnatic against RRQ. It definitely fits the narrative. RRQ are great at anteing, so changing up comp against them makes a lot of sense. Fnatic been struggling on Ascent. They pick Ascent, they change their chamber to a Sage, and it does help quite a lot, especially with like exec power. You get to see it on the pistol here. The boost up from Alpha, super strong, one of the strongest things you can do with Sage on this map, especially when Kayak's TPing first to kind of be the distraction, so they're not all watching the wall boost. And then a little later on, we see some lovely rounds, especially this round where they're execing over towards B again. Something that I love about this is you can B main default, something they didn't have with the chamber before, and the exec power is really strong, but at the same time, you can wall from here inside the smoke over towards door, and the Yoru can go right side of main, which doubles the amount of TPs that you can do over towards site. As you see here, he does a TP down towards lane. So really love the exec power this got them. They did a lot of splits with the Sage. It was a brand new game plan, brand new strat book, and RRQ definitely had a rough time, especially when it came to attack. They had a good amount of hero rounds that made it a little bit closer. Cushy did great. But this round for sure was a big example where they push over towards short itself, but they never actually block vision, and then they're just getting delayed. Sage delay into pivot over towards middle. Kayak hears them at market. Sova ult, they're kind of grouped up against the Sova ult. It's a bit of a no-no, but they also play so slow against the Sage, and then eventually have to push through the Fawns over towards side as well. So the change up on this one from Fnatic, really, really good. Definitely a map they had to fix, and they showed us that they definitely for sure fixed it. To finish it all off as well, we have RRQ's pick, which is Abyss. Again, for a team that I think is very reliant on the coaches, I think they probably should have gone for something where they had maybe demos. Also, similar to what we saw from Liquid, RRQ go for the normal comp, the most standard comp on the map. And we have something brand new from Fnatic themselves. Waylay Breach, and again, I'm not sure the comp's gonna be great after a demo, but at least first time it had good enough theory to win, especially when Boaster is actually turning into a monster. And we see really cool rounds, especially the bonus round here where they stun over towards Heaven, and then the Waylay goes over towards Heaven, and then they use the pressure of that in other rounds to actually take the back of site. So very, very cool from Fnatic. I was impressed with what they did here. And these all, MIBR, Heretics, DRX, and Fnatic, they all won 2-0, and they all had brand new comps on every single one of these maps. I can understand the Abyss one being a little bit of a cheap one, but they also didn't play the normal standard comps. In Valorant, I've always said that a new comp with good theory is always going to win at least your first game, and I'm glad that this was like a perfect demonstration of it at a really high level. Big shout out to the coaching stuff of all the teams, for sure. Very, very impressed with what I was watching. It's been a pleasure to watch, to be honest, and I'm excited to watch more. Please let me know if you like this kind of video. It took me way longer than I want to admit. I did a bit of the editing, so that's probably why it's a little bit rough. Please check out the merch store, subscribe, like, and I'll see you on the next video. And I'll see you tomorrow on the stream.